Kingdoms and Castles tutorial. This is one of my games. You can see that I've already maximized the island. I've maximized how many people could live there, all the production and everything. So basically, what you're going to do is you're going to start with your keep, which is right here. You're going to build walls around it because the Vikings will attack, and you need to defend your buildings at the beginning of the game. So you're going to put some houses over here, some agriculture. You want to mix the farms and the orchards because the farmland can be flooded in the rain. You want to have both two types of food. Makes your people happier. You see over here, you've got two different types of food. There's actually four types. But if you have both types, improves happiness, which brings more people into your town. So the trees trees and agriculture can only grow on fertile soil, which means it has to be either light green, dark green, or irrigated. You can use irrigation to plant on the yellow soil. You will have to mine stone and iron. You're going to need the iron in order to make tools and armaments for your soldiers. And the tools will be used for certain specialized things that improves your production. And it might be necessary for certain structures. And you're going to take all your food. Every season you have to reap all the food and you put them in storage buildings, which are going to be located near the agriculture. You can see mine are over here. All these buildings are the storage buildings, and they're built on piers on the water. And you have to build defensive towers with archers or ballista because you're going to be attacked by dragons and Vikings. It tells you when the next attack is going to be. For example, over here it says 5 years for Vikings, 3 years for dragons. They might both come at the same time. The ballista is the best defense that you're going to have. I have soldiers also. You can see I got soldiers here, and I've got soldiers over here and over here. They're all the blue on the map. And I usually don't use them. I just let the ballista take care of everything. And you can see that's the range. The taller the tower is, the greater the range. So you want to eventually get these tall towers. I suggest you don't use stone for the roads because you're going to need it to build the castle walls. But if you've got a ton of stone, you say I've got tons of stone, I've got 9,000, I can go and do it. Try to put as much as you can out on the piers. Anything that's production related, you want to put on the outside. And the reason why is because certain buildings give a bonus for happiness. And it will show you over here what all the bonuses are. For example, being near the road, having drinkable water, having a nearby library. So you want the library and the cathedral to be somewhat in the center. So with, for example, what I did here, it's got lots of houses around it. And those buildings are in the center. And the tavern is another example of a building that you want to have in the center because it gives a happiness bonus to the radius. If you have a gap in your wall, the enemy will find it and they'll go looking for it and they will head towards that gap. So you got to keep people happy, and this will indicate how happy they are. If they're happy, more people will come. If they become unhappy, they might leave. This is the health, which will be dependent on having food and the hospitals and doctors in the event that there's a health crisis. I'm not going to say the word because, you know, all the censorship. This is building integrity. The buildings have 100 hit points. And once they get down to 0, they're destroyed. And you can have masons go around and fix them. And they can be destroyed either by Vikings or a dragon or a fire or lightning. You see that I've got some buildings that were destroyed. It says that they're rubble, and I can rebuild them. I believe the Mason does it automatically, but I'm not sure. This is an old game, which may have been before the Mason existed, so I might not have a Mason on the map. It's very easy to build. You would just find the Mason, and you would just go plop it somewhere, like right here, and that's it. These are the structures you can build. Castle defense, you've got walls, the defensive towers, treasury. You build one chamber of war, and then you build the barracks, the archer school, siege workshop. Because now you can play against other players. You might need to have a siege workshop. You've got roads, houses, town square, tavern, fire brigade. You've got fountains, church, library, jousting. You've got entertainment like the theater. You've got cemeteries. They actually go to the deceased person, pick him up, and carry him to the cemetery. These are food. You've got farms, storage, windmill, the bakery, the fishing, the piggery, butcher, marketplaces, the aqueduct system, and the reservoir. And then you've got quarries and mines, stockpiles, the forester, charcoal maker, the blacksmith who makes tools and armaments, the mason who does the repairs, and a transport cart, or you can use a boat. You've got a dock for trading, cargo ships, transport ships, a merchant ship, which allows you to trade. Piers allow you to build on the water. A bridge, I don't think I have a bridge, but I can, for example, build a bridge over here going across this water gap. And then you've got a drawbridge, because you remember you can have moats, a stone bridge, and a sea gate, because you could build a gate that allows your boats to go through. You can chop wood, and you can do whatever the double yellow thing is. Rebuild. You've got your menu here for your food, for example. I'm sorry that the menu didn't go away. Now keep in mind, this shows you, not happy here. It shows you all the different types of food items that you could have. There are 4 types in the game right now. These are various resources. This is your tax rate that impacts your treasury. If you don't have enough money, people might stop working, and then production will stop and you won't realize it. This is how many people you have. These are all the jobs. The way it's done is that if you don't have enough people, the guy at the bottom goes down to 0. And then the next guy at the bottom goes down to 0, and the next guy at the bottom goes down to 0. So you might lose something important and the whole industry shuts down. So you want to make sure you prioritize it. For example, farming is more important than the aqueduct system. If your aqueduct works, but you don't have farmers, then your aqueduct is a waste of time. So you want to make the aqueduct a lower priority. You've got fish. You can view them right here. You can see there's fish in the water. They're swimming around. And your fishing huts will go and fish for them. It's possible that fish were added to the game after I played this game. So that's why I don't have any fishing huts. And this is for jousting. Some of the different buildings have a feature where you can click on it and do what it says a public feast. And as far as I know, it gives you a temporary bonus to your happiness. And in the case of a festival, it can bring people to your town because you're attracting people by having a local festival. Okay, so that's the basics of the game. The reason why it's like this is because I did build piers to straighten out the edge. There's deep water and there's salt water and there's fresh water. You need the fresh water for the aqueduct system, which is going to be over here inland. And that's about it. If you have any questions or comments, please post below. Don't forget to go to cheapbooks.cc, go to the video game section, look for Kingdoms and Castles under City Builders, or go to video-game-news.com and look for the City Builder section. You'll find Kingdoms and Castles section also. And if you want to buy books or textbooks, go to cheapbooks.com.